Margaret. Margaret is our next presenter, and Dr. Mark will introduce that.
Thank you very much. Before I introduce her really quick, since we're coming up on the lunch hour, the ArcGIS Association Organization, Archaeology, Geography, Anthropology Society, is having a bake sale in the lobby of Martin Hall, so right next door. That's going to be from 11 to 3, so after our session's end today, if you need a snack, something for lunch, that's right across the hall there. And it'll help support them do some of the activities they're doing. I've been working with Margaret for 3 years now, 1 year as an undergraduate, and she's going to graduate in April after having defended her master's thesis, and has published already with me a portion of that thesis, and we're working on another article. So one has been published and one is in the works. And I'm just very proud of what she's doing. She's focused on the Grateful Dead in that research. So today she's talking about something that is also of interest and near and dear to her heart, which is Nakalula Falls in Gadsden. So she's going to talk a little bit about that for us today. But I just want to say again, I'm really proud of the work Margaret's done, and she's been contacted by multiple universities and fielding offers for her PhD program. So Margaret Walton.
Thanks. So yeah, I'm Margaret. I will graduate in April, fingers crossed, April 29th. That's all that's on my mind. So this is kind of a side project, an internship that I did last summer with Nakalula Falls Park, which is in Gadsden, Alabama. I'm from Gadsden. I grew up there, lived there, and now work there. This internship turned into a full-time position as their education coordinator. So I love the falls. I think it's the gem of the city of Gadsden. And when it came time to find an internship last summer, I thought what better place than to go back home and show some love to where I grew up right across the street from the park. Talking to their director and the director of Parks and Recreation for the city, the director of Nakalula Falls, and the fire chief, we all knew there was a problem in the area. People are intimidated by some of the trails for the lack of identification and markings. People that have lived there for 40 years, they're like, I'm not going down there. I don't know how to get out. So we knew there was an issue with people getting lost, people getting hurt, and then the community itself being nervous or timid to go out there. So we came up with a plan for me to put a new identification system on all of the trails. There's about 14 trails, 18 trails ranging across about 14 miles. Here is one of the maps I made, and this has all of our trail systems on it. I'll go a little bit more into this. But for our identification method, we decided to go with trail placards. They have the abbreviation of the trail on them, the number placard that is, and they range from 5 placards to a trail to 15 to a trail. All of those placards have a latitude and longitude attached to them, and then it also says, it has its abbreviation, but then it also has the full name of the trail it's on. So, how are these going to work? What's the point of just screwing a bunch of, not just a bunch, 175 placards into these trees over the summer? Mind you, I said a summer internship, so I'm working in June and July out on the trails. So it was my idea. I don't know if I was thinking too great. April 29th was all that was on my mind, and I needed that internship credit hour. So we decided to go with these placards, and the idea of it is kind of the same way as mile markers on the side of the road. You have an accident or you witness an accident, you have no idea where you're at, you can't see any other signs but this mile marker. You call EMS 911 and you say, hey, I'm by mile marker 7. And I'm kind of close to Jacksonville, Alabama. I'm on this long road. It might be called 204, I'm not sure. So that's how you would report an accident on the actual roads. So the idea was for this to be the same way with how people can report accidents or call in if they're lost with these trail placards. So you're welcome to come up here and check it out after the presentation, or I have more of this on the story map that I created for the department as well. But all of these placards have their placard title attached to them. And this is also, I made this paper copy of this map for the Gadsden Fire Department so that they would have copies of this in their vehicles and at their fire stations. But this is also all digital through ArcGIS Online, to where Gadsden Dispatch and Emergency Management also has access to this. So for example, Our property, if you're from Gadsden or been around, our property reaches around Hines Road. It's a scary little road on the back end of our property. That's where people get lost a lot, or they get kind of nervous out there. And we have some of our tougher biking trails out there. So say for instance on Dog Hill, right here in this back end near Hines Road, you're new to the area, you're biking, you fall off your bike, coming down one of our hills, and you call in and you say, hey, I'm at some sign that says DH4, and I have no idea besides that. So EMS is then going to be able to pull up this map inside of their office. They'll say DH4, they can pull up, press that point, gives them the latitude and longitude. That way when we send dispatch out to check on our park patron, they'll know how to get to them faster, versus having to come in the park entrance. Right in here in this area is where like the Kiwanis building is. If you go to Christmas at the Falls, you kind of come in this area right here. So if we have somebody that's lost on the very back end of our trails, coming through the front entrance we're not going to be able to get to these people as fast as we want to. For example, we had someone that was in the gorge with a broken ankle. We had no idea how to get to him, and it took 3 hours to find someone. All I can say is thank goodness it wasn't a heart attack. So with that, now they know that they can come and access our patrons on the back end of these trails a lot quicker by accessing through our Hines Road gates. And in this map, I marked off our gates that we have. We also have different accesses to trails in different locations. I also put the safe access points for our gorge. And the gorge trail, I mentioned that one a lot. It's one of the more popular ones. It's the trail that wraps around the gorge of Nakalula Falls. It goes underneath the waterfall. The waterfall is 93 feet tall. So you get to go on that loop around the waterfall, and then we also have a suspension bridge. That's where most of our accidents occur. So this trail has 15 placards attached to it. There are some areas on this trail where it's not safe to enter the trail and access it that way. So I've tried to put out better proper signage so people know, oh, okay, this is where I actually go into the gorge. We're also working on things like adding a staircase to where you can get in there to make it more accessible. Better signage, I'm gonna do a little bit of that this summer, and hopefully I get to hire on some interns from here and get them to come out and enjoy the falls with me. And being a GIS student, making a map wasn't enough for me, so I love making story maps. If you want a cool way to present your data and things that you've collected, students here, we have access to ArcGIS online and can have an account, and it comes with tons of different type of software and applications you can use to present and represent the data that you've created. So this was kind of my one that I used as a sales pitch for the city to say, hey, I made this. Want to keep me around and make more? So it kind of breaks down into the gorge trail. I have pictures of the trail in there. Here's kind of an overview of the park campground itself. This is not my map that I created, but this is satellite imagery so that you can kind of get a feel for where you're going to be entering at. A lot of times we'll tell people, oh, no, this isn't the entrance for the trails. Just take a left, go past the jacks, and then you'll be in the bigger parking lot. So with this satellite imagery, it makes it more accessible for people to just kind of have those mental landmarkers to find where they're going. Then, if you scroll down a little more, I go into talking about our Black Creek trails, specifically the gorge one. I talk about the main entrances and exits, so I'm trying to put that better signage out there so that people know this is like an at-risk activity, this is a safe entrance. I also want to put stop signs out that say, do not enter right here, it's not safe. Here is a map that I created that's very similar to the one you see here. It's mainly focusing though right here on this orange map, or orange trail, which is the gorge trail. Like I said, this one doesn't have the placards on it, but when you pull them up, this entrance, this is one of the safe gorge entrances on the campground side, whereas if I check this other one, this is the gorge entrance through the park. It has the latitude and longitude to those gates for easier access for a patron or someone that's involved in emergency rescue. And then you can also check out the other like trails that are in here. A cool thing about this as well, this is a app that was created, like a web app that was created through ArcGIS Online. If you're lost in the middle of the trails and you have no idea how to get back to your car in the parking lot, you can press this button that says find my location, and if you're back here near Hines Road, it'll show you that you're back here. I tested all of this out on an iPhone 8 this past summer, so it should be pretty good with connectability and things like that. I did try to use things with our R2 Trimble, but I got the same connectivity with my phone, which the R2 is just kind of, it helps us connect to satellites better to get more accurate data collection. But my phone did the same thing, which I think makes it even more accessible to people within the community, because if your phone will work while you're out there, that's a tool that most of us have right in our pocket. So closing this out, also just talks about a few other things, some natural landmarks throughout the gorge. It's an original staircase that my mom used and asked if it was still out there, and I was like, yes, but we do not use that. We have a huge sign on it that says not an exit, but it is one of those good like mental reminders of, oh, I've passed this a time or two before. I know I need to go this way to get out of the gorge. Pretty pictures of underneath the waterfall. Our suspension bridge that we put in 2018. We have fly fishing up at Nakalula Falls now. And here's some groups that help protect our waterways. The Black Creek is our main waterway that we have there. Coosa River Keepers and Friends of the Falls are two groups that do a lot of work to help keep our park safe and clean. I was going to mention Coosa River Keepers might be a good resource in the biology surveys as well when it comes to like water safety and whatnot. These aren't in use yet because, like I said, this is kind of my sales pitch to the city for them to keep me around and make more of these. And here are some of my resources that I made. I did want to put a land acknowledgement there because the Nakalula Falls Parking Campground is located on the lands of the Yuki, Sewanee, and Cherokee tribes. And I think it's important to make a land acknowledgement when we are doing work out there on these native lands that do not belong to us. Thank you. Any questions? Yes.
So earlier you had mentioned you were testing all of this out, that you tried like on an iPhone. Did you have the ability to try it on other types of cell phone
Like
devices?
Androids and stuff like that.
Yes.
Yes, I have been able to test it with Androids as well. I just have an iPhone, so that's kind of what I did all my work on. But I've had some students come out there and work with me, and we've tested it on their Androids. And thankfully, ArcGIS and Esri is super accessible with Apple, iOS, and Android products. So both of those are able to be used out there. Also, I didn't mention this, but I do guided hikes at the falls on Saturdays. So if you've ever wanted to go to the falls and check it out, you want to come see what I do, we'll start doing our guided hikes again soon when it's a little warmer. I'm doing one with the ArcGIS club February 25th. So they may have a flyer coming out about that or something, I don't know. But yeah, if you want to get it down there and check it out safely, let me know, contact me and we'll figure something out. Any other questions? Yes.
The way you map the trails, did you do that through aerial or did you do that with your iPhone?
I did that with my phone. So another product through ArcGIS Online is Quick Capture. So with Quick Capture, you kind of build an app to where you can collect all this data. There's 3 different types. There's Quick Capture, Field Maps, and Survey 123. For the purpose of it being June and July, it's hot out there and I'm on a go and on a mission. Quick Capture was the interface that worked best for me, and I was able to create an app through that. To then where I would go and collect this data on my phone, and in real time it would populate to my map. It did populate though like neon green squares for anything. And if you've taken a GIS class or had a conversation with Dr. Morgan, neon green or hot pink is not the way to go. So I had to kind of make it a little more visually aesthetic. But yeah, I used Quick Capture to do that real-time data collection.
Okay, I have one more question.
Yeah.
So you put this page on ArcGIS website, like this?
This is published. I don't know if you can go like to my account and find it. You should be able to. But I also have this connected to my LinkedIn account.
Okay.
The story maps I've created, I have a Soundscapes of the Grateful Dead story map on there, and then my Gorge Trail story map. So my LinkedIn would probably be the quickest way to find it, but also I can share it with people as well.
Is Gadsden gonna put this on there?
Yeah, we're gonna start putting these on the website, our story maps. I'm gonna go out there and record some soundscapes, which is, just like the natural sounds that make up the area around us. So recording the sound of the waterfall and leaves crunching, kids playing on the playground, things like that. And to use it, one, it can be used as a marketing tool, but two, to make it more accessible to folks that can't physically or mentally come out there to experience the park, they can experience it to the best of their ability from their homes.
More question for our speaker? If not, let's thank our speaker again.